Hello, this is Encounters with Life. I'm Sean Abigail, your host. For many years, I was completely opposed to the legalization or decriminalization of drugs. Now, full disclosure, I've never used any sort of drugs. And I've never understood why anyone would want to use drugs. But a few years ago, my thinking started to change. I was still opposed to drugs, but I came to believe that there are people who are simply out of control. They are addicted to drugs, and nothing is going to stop that. They're going to continue to use drugs. And so my thinking started to change towards harm reduction. And in fact, harm reduction is the direction that Canada as a whole has been moving to. Safe supply, safe injection sites, free needles, and in fact, sometimes free drugs. But now it's time for us to reevaluate the direction that we are moving in as a country. Our cities have become overrun with drugs. I was talking to a friend of mine. He is from Istanbul originally. He's now living in Canada. And he took a vacation to Kingston, nice, sunny, bright, clean Kingston, beautiful down by the waterfront. And he told me, walking around in Kingston, he did not feel safe. Now, he's come from one of the biggest cities in the world to nice, friendly Kingston, and he didn't feel safe. Does that feel normal to you? Is that the society that you want? People are experimenting with drugs more and more. I was talking to a young lady, and she was telling me about evenings at their house. And what they do is they put a movie on the television set, okay, and then they sit around chewing cannabis gummies, getting stoned. And that's their family activity, and that's what the parents do with the kids. Does that seem normal to you? Is that the kind of society that you want? More and more our public health authorities and political leaders are pushing more and more about decriminalization, legalization, safe supply, safe injection sites, safe everything, free drugs. And if you raise the possibility that people will be taking some of this safe supply drugs as free drugs that they're getting, and instead of using it themselves, that they're selling it, you're demonized. Like, how could you say such a thing? We have to shut down anyone who would say such a thing because we don't like the implications there. But the evidence on our streets is that this whole safe supply thing has completely failed us. And so I believe it is time for us to get tough on drugs. The health of our cities depends on us getting tough on drugs. It's time to take back the downtown. If we don't, our cities will become shells. We'll still have a vibrant suburbs, but the downtown core will not be livable. Case in point, my hometown of Ottawa, in the Byward Market, it used to have a vibrant nightlife. That was the place you went to have fun. It had all the clubs, it had all the good restaurants in town. They were all in the Byward Market. And now people don't want to go there after dark. When I first came to Ottawa, many moons ago, on Sundays, all the stores were closed, except in the Byward Market, because that's where all the tourists went. It was the place to be. And now it's dead. And so the health of our cities demands that we get tough on drugs. But the health of our society also demands that we get tough. Easy supply means more experimentation with drugs, and more experimentation with drugs means that more people will end up using those drugs on a regular basis, becoming addicted. It's time to get tough. But the health of our economy also demands that we get tough on drugs. Rightly or wrongly, our American neighbors believe that huge amounts of fentanyl are flooding into the United States from Canada. It's not. But the mindset that we have towards drugs is affecting the Americans as well. And we should be doing everything that we can to stop the domestic consumption of fentanyl, and doing everything we can to stop fentanyl from going over the border, doing everything we can to stop these little factories that are producing fentanyl. And that's why I was very happy that Pierre Poilievre, who's the candidate to become the next prime. Well, he won't become the next prime minister. Mark Carney will be the next prime minister. But then, after Mark gets tossed out of office, Pierre Poilievre will be the prime minister, and that's why Pierre has said that he supports life sentences for anyone who has 40 milligrams of fentanyl on them. And 40 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to kill 20 people. If you're walking around and you've got enough drugs on you to kill 20 people, you should get a life sentence. We should throw you in prison, lock you up, and throw away the key. But in order to do things like that, it's going to require a new mindset among Canadians. And I don't know if we've got the guts to do it, or whether we just, oh, well, it's so hard. Just let everybody do whatever they want and let them just all do drugs and everything. But, while I'm talking about a change in mindset, why not go the whole way? Why don't we return to the criminalization of cannabis? Oh, Sean, you can't do that. Really? Has cannabis shops in every strip mall in Canada, has that been a boon to society? Does Canada seem like it's doing better because of that? Now, I'm under no illusions. Our politicians are not going to go ahead and do that unless there's a mindset change in Canada. And so it's time that we changed our mindset in Canada, and it's time that we got tough on drugs. I'm Sean Abigail. That's Encounters with Life. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe. Every subscriber makes absolutely a huge difference to me. Thank you. Goodbye.